1-0 delivery. Hit on the ground, past the first baseman, down to the right field corner for Slick.
Welcome to another edition of Royal Recap. I'm Sports Information Director Dale Eng, bringing you highlights from the last week of Bethel University athletics. Let's get started with some baseball highlights as the Royals played 5 games in 6 days, starting with a single 9-inning game against Northwestern last Tuesday. Jay Slick put Bethel in front 1-0 with this home run in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
The right fielder goes back and just watches this one sail into the forest out there.
Followed by an RBI single by Bob Tokar.
Long drive into left field, it's going to be in there, down the left field line for a hit.
But it was in the 4th inning that Bethel opened up the game by scoring 5 runs. Bob Tokar struck again by belting a 3-run homer down the left field line, scoring Eric Anderson and Jay Slick to make the score 7-0 in favor of the Royals. Bethel then tacked on 6 more runs in the bottom of the 7th to go up 14-2, which is where the game would stay. David Anderson pitched 6 innings of scoreless baseball, striking out 4 on his way to his first win of the season. The Royals faced St. Olaf on Wednesday, but lost both games before returning home to take on Gustavus on Sunday afternoon. Bethel hit 5 home runs between the 2 games and swept the Gusties for the first time since 2005 by scores of 11-10 and 11-6. Jay Slick earned MIAC Co-Hitter of the Week honors as he was 13 for 18 with 6 extra base hits, including 3 home runs. The Royals are scheduled to take on Hamlin and McAllister this week. In softball, Bethel played 4 games last week and won 2 of them by sweeping Carleton at home on Thursday. The Royals scored 5 times in the first 2 innings to take a commanding lead over the Knights in the opening game of the doubleheader. Lauren Habish singles here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. When the ball gets away from the left fielder, she goes all the way to 3rd while both Nia Harkness and Kelly Berg score. Still in the 2nd inning, Jess Newstrom hits an RBI single to score pitcher Becky Ackerson to put Bethel up 10-0. Ackerson needed to pitch just 5 innings for her 4th complete game shutout of the season in a 12-0 win. The next game proved to be a little tougher as the Royals trailed for the entire game until they scored twice in the bottom of the 6th and hung on to win 3-2. Bethel is now 9-7 in conference play and is scheduled to finish the regular season this week with doubleheaders against St. Benedict, Augsburg, and St. Olaf. Moving on to tennis, both the men's and women's teams played matches on Friday and Saturday last weekend. The men's team edged Concordia 5-4 at home before falling to nationally ranked Gustavus on the road. Meanwhile, the women's team lost to Concordia and St. Benedict. Both teams are scheduled to wrap up their regular seasons this week. In golf, the men's team headed northwest to St. Cloud and Monticello for the St. John's Invitational, while the women's team headed southeast to Northfield for the Carleton Invitational. The men were in 11th place after the first round, but improved in the 2nd and 3rd rounds to finish 10th out of 16 teams. On the women's side, Paige Lemieux was Bethel's top golfer, and the Royals improved on their collective first-round score by 29 strokes to finish in 12th place. The women have now finished their season, and the men's team is scheduled to compete in the St. Olaf Invitational before closing the books on their season. Finally, in track and field, Bethel had athletes compete in McAllister and down in Iowa in the Drake Relays. On Wednesday, the men's team participated in the McAllister Twilight. Bucky Dixon finished first in the discus throw among Division III athletes with a season-best toss of 153 feet 1 inch. Jay Quick cleared 6 feet 7 inches in the high jump, and Gabe Heimer cleared 13 feet 5 3/4 inches in the pole vault, while Taylor Furta won the 110-meter hurdle at a time of 14.96 seconds.
There you go, Taylor!
Furta then traveled down to the Drake Relays in Des Moines, Iowa, where he and the rest of the 4x400-meter relay team posted their best time of the season at 3:15.44, which is an NCAA provisional qualifying time. Speaking of NCAA qualifying times, Marie Borner also ran at the Drake Relays and earned an automatic bid to the championship meet by running the 1,500-meter race in a personal best and school record time of 4:25.66. Borner finished 3rd overall, which isn't bad, considering she was running with all Division I runners. The rest of the women's track team braved the elements to compete at the McAllister Invitational on Saturday. Michaela Otto and Abby Furlong finished neck and neck to take first and second places in the 100-meter hurdles, while Katie Borner took fifth place in the 400-meter run by finishing just under a minute. The pole vault was moved indoors, where Kelly Frost finished seventh by clearing more than 10 feet. Both the men's and women's teams will be in action this weekend at the Howard Wood Relays in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That's it for this week's edition of Royal Recap. Be sure to join me next week when I'll have more Bethel sports highlights. In the meantime, for the latest stories, stats, and schedules, be sure to check out athletics.bethel.edu. Thanks for joining me. I'm Sports Information Director Dale Eng.